for 8 hours.
Woo, doggies.
So, Chris, that's your I think that one's been used, hasn't it?
I don't know, maybe.
No. Now, where do I find the
doggies?
Live control room?
You have the control. You have the room. You are control room.
Open live chat in a new window. There we go. Okay. Why should I move to Austin, Chris? And what would I be able to buy for 50,000 Canadian dollars?
50,000 Canadian dollars. Well, that's a lot of tacos. First up, I don't know, like we're looking to lease or rent or
I'm depressed at the idea of someone moving to Austin. I thought you'd be...
I would love it for you to be here. I just wouldn't know where I would start. Actually, I probably like probably Round Rock or Pflugerville, just up north, or you have to like choose south. So there's like a river that runs through Austin, and so it's on north is the downtown, the city proper, and then north of that is North Austin, and then south of the river is South Austin. And so I'm in South Austin, so technically I'm really close by to downtown. However, I have to go over a bridge to get to there, and it's just getting to that bridge is like terrible. It's just like so the amount of times, because I moved from north to South Austin, it was really restricted my movements to go to North Austin because I'm like,
So someone says there's like the Code Pen Hangout Dribble meetup is at North Austin, and you're
like you and I are big U2 fans, right?
Yeah,
big U2 fans, right? There's one of the best U2 cover bands. At least I don't think they broke up. I don't know, whatever. Mysterious Ways, whatever. They're actually called Mysterious Ways.
Apologize for the
sorry, name. So guys who are listening now, like, have all these unwanted U2 facts in their heads right now. And they're in this downtown bar, and they play as Irish bar every once in a while. And I was like, I just really don't want to drive down there. And it literally is like 5 miles from where my house is, but it's a hard 5 miles to get there. So
is this like Oregon trails, like you get dysentery or whatever?
I could die of dysentery. It's been Austin's going through a renaissance, if you will, or renaissance is a stupid word. It's gone through so much construction that there's been like they're building condos where there used to be empty parking lots and plenty of parking, and so
they mentioned it.
Yeah, and so they pretty much like got rid of 200 parking spots, a lot more hotels. They increased parking fees from Monday through Friday to Monday through Saturday. So that's awesome. And then they kicked out Uber and Lyft. So it's like they didn't have any plan in place to replace them whatsoever. So it depends on who you ask, if the city kicked them out or if they just kicked themselves out, whatever. And the story is that they're not here, and so it becomes an issue just trying to like get around town. So
do you have you're a multi-unit family or whatever it's called, and do you have multiple vehicles, or do you try and get by with one in Austin?
We have multiple vehicles in pursuit at all times.
And you have your gun rack
on no gun rack. No gun rack.
Okay.
But if you do want to, yes, we do have gun racks. We have plenty of guns. That's what I should be saying. No, it's
South Austin is the gun-free zone, and North Austin is where you shoot. Yeah. Shoot first, ask questions.
It's open. It's like open carry or whatnot. So we have a open carry in Texas, so it's pretty nice. But
so I've seen pictures of I think we posted in the Good Stuff Slack one time of like a dude, or the Stuffy Slack anyways, of like a guy at Starbucks with like a AK something or other.
Yeah. So there's like people who make a point to flaunt open carry, which is like, you can openly carry a gun, and so they meet up at at public places, and places of business, and like 18 people with AK-47s is not going to be you don't really need to do that. Like one person can carry the gun.
Yeah.
Hey Bob, how about you be the secretary? Okay.
Yeah.
You take notes of how many bullets we need. So, but they all show up, and it's whatever you are. I'm like, hey, I'm pro Constitution. But I'm like, you don't really need that many guns in one place, man. To order coffee. So that's just the way I feel about it. One gun, one coffee.
One gun per coffee.
Yeah. So but yeah, so it's I will say there is rodeo. It happens every year. But I have not been to this rodeo.
Is
So
like Austin is like the least, is it the least Texas?
I have no idea what that means because I've yet to experience. I've experienced the Texas in my own unique way. I will say when I moved here before the onslaught of everyone else moving down here from California, New York, it was the rent was cheaper, so we had a lot more artsy vibe to it. Like the weird vibe was here. One thing I would love to do, we do events, as for a day job is that, and it hasn't been around for like multiple years. I try to track down who's done it. Is that we used to have a cupcake weekend and just glamorize the cupcake and have all these cupcake vendors come around and we had someone do a cupcake cannon, so you actually get hit by a cannon being thrown at you via like a t-shirt cannon almost in a way. Nice. And it just and it was of course it's being Austin. It's the last time I saw it was held at a micro beer warehouse. So he's like, of course, if you want to drink a beer of calories, you should also eat a cake of calories. So so that was something that's happening. Like and the story goes like someone's getting hit by a cupcake gun, and then what was it, Chappelle? Dave Chappelle like stopped walking in those streets. Like, what the hell's going on? And it's like, oh, just a cupcake gun. Like, what? So
I have
that's great food here. So really great.
Anthony Stauffer on Twitter is telling me if you visit Austin in August, you'll never be tempted again if you survive. What is it's so hot? I'm assuming.
Yeah, so it's AC weather pretty much. Like it's becoming fall right now, so it's just been really great to open the windows and enjoy the weather. Just enjoy like the crisp air, which you, as being Canadian, enjoy year round. Yeah, it's like, wow, it's crisp air out there, eh? So that's
yeah. Oh yeah, can you say the province name that I live in on air?
Yeah, sure. Providence. I didn't fall for your trap this time, Chris.
Not gonna do it. I'm gonna have to back you into the corner until you have to say Saskatchewan.
Don't think there's like red sirens going off my head when I try to say it. Like Chris is going like laugh at me now.
I don't know how I can trick you into saying Saskatchewan, but I'll figure out a way.
Yeah. So but yeah, it's like it's really hot, and I grew up in Florida, so it's not too bad. It's just that
is it humid heat or dry heat?
It's more of a dryish heat, and so it's not as it's not as humid as Florida is, but yeah. But also, like, we have a river, as I mentioned, that goes through Austin, and so you actually like
a river runs through it.
River runs through it, so there's a lot more businesses on the river where paddle boarding, rent canoes, and all this stuff like that there too. So, and there's lots of springs too. So we have a natural pool spring, which is like open year round except for the major holidays. So you actually like, if you want to, you just go pool right now and like get a nice spring.
Is that the thing that's like going to overflow or something? I remember Dave Rupert's or somebody has built a site, right? That was like,
so that's the Lake Travis. And so that we had drought for 2-3 years. And so, and then all of a sudden we had like major flooding in October, like 2-3 years ago, probably 2 years ago now. And it was just nonstop rain for the whole month of October. And so we had some flooding in Texas, and because the ground was so dry, it wasn't able to process all the rain, and so a lot of homes got lost. And so he actually we started like in a Slack chat. He actually said like, hey, is it raining yet? Is the lake full yet? And so he made a simple JavaScript doohickey, and all us developers actually and designers got chipped in and made this app. So it's called like is the lake full yet.com. So, and it's only for Lake Travis. So if you want to build it for some other lake, I'm truly sorry, but we've already, and there's actually a skill for Alexa. So you actually install it on your Alexa app on your
Of
Alexa thing.
course
It's
there
just like
is.
let me see. Hey Echo, ask the lake if it's full or not. It's not gonna work. Yeah, it doesn't work. Of course, I ask it to work. Oh, Echo, is the lake full or not?
Sorry, I can't find the answer to the
Dang,
question I
wait,
heard.
more time. I'm just trying. Hey Echo, ask the lake if it's full. Yeah, of course. Put on the spotlight. It's kind of shy now.
Yeah.
So, but anyway.
So Slack, you've heard of Slack in Texas, I guess, too, right? In Austin, you use
Yeah,
Slack.
the Slack channel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we invented Slack. I'm not really sure. But,
Is it Austin is completely Google Fiber or just certain areas to the north or the south?
they're installing Google Fiber throughout. So they have their roadmap for installing Google Fiber. They're now opening Google Fiber, I think, more South Austinish. So, but they're installing it. So what we have to do is actually sign up for it, and when they get around to it, they install it. So it took us about a year. They Google, whatever. They announced that they would take a year. It actually took about 2 years to install it, mostly because within 6 months of announcing Google Austin, which is like their second city, they announced 8 other cities. And so they went from, managing one city per year to managing like 9 cities. So trying to get all of them, ready and so that. So I'm not sure if that's their excuse or whatnot. But it took forever, but it did take them a while to get here.
Right.
But I will say it is pretty awesome to have Google Fiber.
Well, I noticed whenever it flips back to me, even though I have an HD camera, the feed isn't from me isn't actually HD, whereas for you it has a little HD flag. So I don't know if that's because flip. Come on. All right, you have to say something. I guess.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's like a little thing that's like Google's giving you the finger saying, "Hey, see, you're not."
Yeah, this
you're
guy
off."
Chris, man, he's awesome. He's got this
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, so it's pretty awesome. Like I don't have to worry about too much about my quality because I know we're sending out good stuff. So but it's also just dealing with large files. I don't really have to worry about backups when I upload them to cloud for storage for video projects or anything like that. So I just it doesn't it really depends on how the services that I'm connected to. And one thing, it's totally like bourgeois for me. I don't know how to say it, but it's just like
That's fine for Christopher.
yeah, it's like, hey guys, you know what? I really don't know how to write this blog post without sounding condescending. But the thing is, like, there's a whole thing about perception of speed for websites in our industry and how fast we load them. And when I got Google Fiber, it became clearer and clearer. Websites aren't fast enough because I'm able to get to their sites fast, but their web servers aren't fast enough in terms of rendering their own pages out fast enough for me to the pages. So they can't hide behind my slow connection anymore.
Right.
It's actually, I can see them being just painfully slow on their own end. So they're not really. So that became way more obvious than before, and I would not have realized that being an issue having Google Fiber.
Well, most of the world struggles with 3G connection. We should start designing for Austinites with fiber.
I mean, I'm saying that's what should happen. I mean, like, it's just that's not what I'm saying at all. But there's stuff you can do that's like pretty basic. Like one of the books I want to write, and I might just write it just so I can have the title is designing for hotel Wi-Fi. And just so these are these steps you need to take, which are pretty bare bones. Like these, like just bare basic, like maybe 12 steps. This is what you need to do to make sure your site's, quickly working order. And so I might just write that, just for the hell of it, just out of the title. But if you just do those type of steps, then my pain points that I have with my Google Fiber would go away, Chris. And that's just, I think that's in everyone's best interest, Chris. I think that's really
your interests are in everyone's best interests.
Like that's what I like to think.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I like being in a happy mood.
Your use case is the most important use case.
Oh yeah. So
okay, so we got internet, we got weather. I don't know what else there is. There's good food.
We do have a curling league, so there's curling here.
I've curled once in my life in Canada, but it would be a pleasure to go to Austin and take up curling.
I like if you move here, we'll go. I'll take up curling again. And
Right.
we'll do it again. So. Because we did curling the first couple of years I was here, and then they meet on Sunday mornings, and it's just really painful because that's the cheapest rent that they could probably get for ice. But there's some really good curlers on team. So and then there's curling in leagues in Dallas and Houston, I think, and they usually do a bonspiel between each one a year. So we came this close in Austin. Just some history, like this close. I'm actually holding up my fingers about an inch apart. This close to having our own curling center, and it would have like a little restaurant in it, and it would have had about 3 lanes. We would have been able to hold like our own events for curling, and it held like a little store for curling supplies. It was so awesome. However, the city of one of the cities that are outside of Austin didn't appreciate it.
Oh shoot!
So it got shut down.
No curling for you.
Yeah, they like Austin, keep it weird. Nothing weird in having your own curling league. So yeah, so there's curling, which is great. I love the sport. I didn't think I would, but it's really nice because it's like chess. What else? It's like 3 sports in one. So it's bowling. What's the other one? It's another thing.
Chess and
shuttleboard. Is that what
shuttleboard? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's pretty nice. That's very nice. So
and any hockey?
Do you have hockey? No, I think there's hockey, but only for younger grades. There's like hockey league. Okay. So like yeah.
And you have education system of some sort, I'm assuming.
Yeah, we just throw people guns and bullets.
Yeah,
I just school,
I'm assuming.
Excuse me, sorry.
They would go to hunting school, not like they wouldn't learn math and stuff. They just
we call it school of life. Like it's between you and the deer and the boars and the bears. Yeah, we have a pretty good school.
Yeah.
There's some schools are better than others.
Yeah.
And so in Texas, being Texas, there's always Austin is different than Texas, so don't there's which is true from adding a state capital and a Republican state. Like it's different than the other rest of the state. So
right.
So
and I had one final question. Now I've forgotten what it was about moving there. The Trumpiness, I guess that's maybe what you're getting at, and that's what I said as I was falling asleep. And Sue had said, "Let's move to Austin." I said, "Well, maybe we should wait until the election and see what happens." And healthcare is the other big concern with Canadians moving there, because you just have to
not die.
You show up with your credit card if you go to the hospital, right?
No, you still need insurance. It's a pretty good thing. So I had a surgery, which kind of like the surgery wasn't bad. However, the complications for the surgery were bad. So because I had insurance for that. So
I thought Obama fixed it all. That's what I keep.
Yeah, well, for someone, so Obama said it would not add more than a dime, and so he's right. It added a lot more dimes. So to the and then the health insurance brokers are failing, or they're getting out of it. Also, it was supposed to provide insurance for 30 million people. Now it's down to 17 million people, and last I checked, it was like 12 million people. So yeah, so it was not. It's kind of failing on that end. So there's some talk. Whoever wins the election, it's either going to be, if Clinton wins, she's probably going to make it a single payer system, which is more like social, like Canadian, if you will, or UK, and then if Trump wins, it'd probably be more of a companies being able to. This is what I would like, just for competition paid, is like an insurance company can't cross state lines and compete with another company. Right. And so it'd be great if a company would have to so we have Blue Cross is a company, Blue Cross, so we have Blue Cross Texas and Blue Cross, Indiana or Texas, Florida, or whatever. And so they have to duplicate a lot of systems in place, and which makes them harder. So if they can actually compete on national level,
right,
they'd probably reduce their costs a lot. So and I think that's kind of makes sense in a way. And I'm not saying that the medical system needs unregulation or anything like that. There still needs to be regulation in place. So I just feel like I think that's one easy place. Competition always helps everyone. Lowers the price a lot. So right, blah 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 blah. And Trump, yeah. So anyway, if Trump wins, lots more guns. So actually, there's like, because Obama has been in office for 8 more years, it's like people keep on buying guns. It's like crazy. Right. So it's like this crazy like reversal thing. Like, he's taking our guns away. I'm gonna buy 10 more. And
that's what it's. I know when I've gone to the States before, and like this is using gross stereotypes, like exaggerated stereotypes.
Please do. We're America.
It's what you trade in, but is like actually coming face to face with those caricatures. Not that all people. I forget, it was in North Carolina, but like not that every single person. There's awesome, lovely people, tons of them, but coming face to face with some of those caricatures that we see on the Daily Show or wherever, you know, in TV news and stuff that we get up here, and realizing that there actually are real people like that, not just exaggerated versions that you see maybe as plants on as a Daily Show or full frontal, you know, interview catching or whatever kind of thing. They actually do exist, and they're real people, and they're 3D. And
yeah,
that's what I think. It would be, not that I engage in any sort of serious political discourse up here, but I think I get more angry about American politics than I do Canadian politics sometimes. And so
we wouldn't have it any other way, because
it's the center of the world.
Like, would you like to vote? Just put your face in. Yeah. So yeah. Yes, would you like to vote for us? So, but
I wouldn't have to worry about voting if I moved, I guess. So
yeah. I wouldn't mind going to Canada for a while, just like, hey, just enjoying all your free drugs. That'd be great, right?
That's the thing. I think what I'd have to do is, it would be like a 6-month internship or something down there.
Yeah.
Move for 6 months, but then if I stay, as long as I stay in Canada for 6 months of the year, I still get healthcare and benefits of being Canadian. Whereas if you're gone longer than 6 months, then you lose all that. So
oh really? Wow.
So if for that year or something, I forget how it works exactly, but I know for all the people who go like south to Mexico or Florida for winter and stuff, they have to make sure that they're here for at least 6 months of the year.
Okay, so let me ask this. Okay, so you have Canadian health insurance, right? Well, so what does that mean? Like, does that mean something like, is that true or not? Like, I don't know.
Well, it means that like, I'm trying to think of, I'm sure there's like exclusions to this, but pretty much anything could happen to me and it would be covered. Now, if there's like extreme circumstances of like, instead of taking the ambulance to the airport or to the hospital, to the movies. We call our hospitals hotels because really it's the same thing. No, then, they have to like airlift me because I'm an idiot and I drove my snowmobile into the lake or whatever. Then there'd be like things where you'd have to pay some of those fees. But,
okay, so who's in charge of determining you're an idiot? Like
that's where I think it differs from the US, where it's a lot of like common sense rules rather than like the fear of the one idiot who's gonna, abuse the system.
I just want, that's the job I want. I want to determine who's an idiot. I was like, okay, guys, just give the case.
Because like, I mean, we have insurance on our vehicles and stuff, right? So if you get an accident, like you can have better insurance than someone else for your vehicle, where I have to pay $500 to get it repaired or written off or whatever, and you might have to pay $1,000 because you didn't get as good insurance or whatever. Okay. But as far as like, you could have $1 million or $500,000 or $100 and the hotel or hospital.
Okay, well let's
fix you.
If you don't mind, I want to frame it this way. Okay, so health insurance for a Canadian, you have a family. If you didn't have any insurance, I'm not sure if you do have insurance or whatever, but I'd say, hey, so, or it could be some other doesn't have to be about you, it could be some other family. So family of 2, nuclear family, they have nothing except whatever Canada gives them. Do they have dental covered?
No, that's where you would have, I forget what that is like exactly, but there's a bit of that covered, but not very much. Like not like our son, I don't have insurance right now. And so our son had to get like 8 or 10, whatever, cavities filled.
Wow. Okay.
Went under, this is like a couple years ago, but like, so we had to pay, but it was like, I want to say as much as $2,000 Canadian to get to pay for that. So
yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, it wasn't crazy, but like I should be, and as a small business owner, I could get Blue Cross or something and pay into a plan and get some sort of like, so I would only have to pay 200 of that or whatever.
Right.
But of course we hadn't done that yet, and so it was too late to.
Okay, so if I have appendicitis, is that covered?
Yeah, yeah, and there would be like drugs you might buy where it'd be like you're paying $50 for the antibiotics or something, or like
right. So I get appendicitis, and then I'm held up for a day or two or whatever. I go home. I'm paying $50 for drugs. Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's say I have a doctor. Do you have a doctor you go to like generally, or is it like
and I go as much as I want basically, and I could book if they would be annoyed with me, but I could if I was like full on hypochondriac, I could go every week and make sure I'm
so I could actually just go there and say like it's annual checkup, and then I'd come home having paid nothing.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. And then let's say I have like what's the thing I had? Like it was like no, that's gross. I won't mention that. No, what's the thing that we do?
Or
toenail. Like let's say like a plastic surgery. That'd be like you have to pay for that, right?
Yeah, any sort of cosmetic stuff, and that's where it gets obviously with other surgeries. There's some like some of it's like, well, is that really cosmetic or not? And
okay, let's say like I broke an ankle. What would I do? Like would I just call your doctor or
or
the
ER hospital? Yeah, hospital if it was like friends of ours, their son like broke his leg playing flag football or something, and like he had to. It was quicker just to drive him to the hospital, but he was like, drove him to the hospital. They don't like. You have a health card that you have to like show that you are Canadian,
right?
But even if you're not Canadian, I think you'd still get some. You would definitely get covered. They would fix you. They would.
They just throw you in the street.
Yeah, exactly. No, like the flip side is like the naysayers and the negative of it is that there isn't as much money in the system, let's say, and so there's a lot of wait times for certain surgeries. I haven't really experienced that side of like the health system where you're waiting a long time because, well, actually, my sister had a neck thing, and she ended up going to Germany because she could get it done, or she could have waited for a year and a half.
Right. Okay. There you go. Yeah.
Right. So where it was like a thing that. Yeah, where they didn't. There's a specialist you need, and here they didn't offer that kind of surgery, which I would guess happen in the States too. Like, and maybe in Texas, there's nobody who does this certain kind of neck surgery because they haven't approved it for Texas, whatever. But in Minnesota, they do it or whatever. And so in this case, it was a surgery that's done in the U.S. and in Germany it happened to be, and so she flew to Germany and got it done.
Okay. So why would if she flies to Germany, she's paying out of her pocket? Right.
Yeah, but even there, some of that, like I know my father-in-law had some surgery done in Mexico on, I forget, like let's say it was a broken toe or something. I forget what it was. Some of that, even still, and he may have had travel insurance, but some of it can be like because he could have flown back to get. Oh, he had something else. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But like, he could have flown back to get it taken care of, and they would have covered actually his. I think that must have been travel insurance he had.
Right.
Because they would have covered some of his flights, and they ended up. Yeah. Anyways. It's still all substantially less in terms of dollars, but doesn't always mean it says, because like if you had what's something that's not an emergency, but like if you're
but you're still in chronic pain, but it's still you still have to wait for an operation, right?
Yeah, like I don't know, gallbladder or something, let's say.
Well, there's a TED talk about health in Canada, and it's just this lady who talks about, she's Canadian. And this is several years ago, so it's probably still up there. And it kind of freaked me out a little bit, but was that she was problem with her leg, so she had to wear crutches or whatever, or like that, and she was scheduled for surgery, which is great, but it was like years out in the future in terms of her getting it fixed, right?
Yeah.
So she proudly got on stage and said she gamed the system by volunteering to work in the gift shop, getting her ID, wearing her hospital ID, and then waiting for the doctor who would treat her to walk in and then see her and see what she was doing. She had a problem, and then she was able to like get onto the schedule faster because she was able to make that face-to-face connection with that. And I was just like, wow, wouldn't it be awesome? It's just like you had the money and You just wanted to get dang surgery done, like, instead of having to go to Germany and fixing it up.
And that's the debate here is like, now do we also add private payer like sort of support for different services, and like a doctor sets up a shop
fast
and wants
track.
to just charge, and then it just becomes the whole debate, which is a very Canadian debate of like the rich and the poor and how do we solve that issue, and which we don't have guns to fight it out with, so we have to actually converse and debate.
If you think, whatever, your words don't hurt me, man. I know that.
Potato, potato.
These bullets do. That's what I'm saying. But so yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's been really weird. As someone who's watched politics growing up, and I'm not saying I'm an expert at it, but like, I remember when watching C-SPAN, which is like watching Congress and having people argue, and growing up, I realize now that politics is not what happens on the floor of Congress, but the discussions that happen before they hit the floor, but at bars or whatever, back door, stuff like that. But they would still be civil in their discussions on the floor of Congress. Like, hey, I recognize my good friend from New Hampshire or whatnot. So you don't even get that, even that level of basic trivial understanding and or friendship. So you really see that in the last 8 years. It really eroded during the Gore Bush contest. So, and with this Trump thing, like whatever. Sorry, excuse me.
Yeah, that's a interesting discussion, because it's even the media, the way it's portrayed in like the battle and the wrestling kind of motifs that just exaggerate everything, that it just makes it into this, like, that's where up here we have politics. We'll solve all the problems here in 5 minutes because I have to go for pizza. But
pizza solves everything. So
we have more than two political parties, right? So there isn't just like left, right.
Yeah.
And there's shades of gray within that, 3, sometimes 4 political parties at the national level that debate. And so you can't have the like, there is people who are certainly like all the way liberal, which is the name of a party, or all the way NDP, New Democratic Party, or whatever. But like, even within that, there's so many shades, and so you can't have this like huge mega one personality against another personality, like you get in the States. And so, not that we like political, we have issues too. Like, there's certainly lots of garbage and stuff, but it just doesn't divide the country the same way, it seems like.
I think we have 2 candidates who are perfectly matched to each other. And so, which is, and they both have high negative, popularity ratings. So it's just been really weird. So see, like there's been no, whoever wins is gonna be the first time a candidate has won with that high of negative rating.
Right.
Period. Like no one, like Romney lost, because he had someone could say like he had a high negative rating or whatever, but that's just that's just the way politics is played. So but I think whatever negative rating he has, it's gonna be higher for the person who wins it. So it's like I don't know. So I'm hoping things get cooler 4 years from now, 6 years from now. So
that's where it seems like it should, but it can't, because like you start it all up again in like less than 2 years. You start up the whole
and that's a whole like thing I've been thinking about, like how we've sort of gamed the Constitution, right? Where like we have a listing of when the president gets reelected. We have a listing of like how many years House Representatives gets elected. We have there's set schedules for when senators get reelected. So it's we've kind of like, there's a whole industry about getting elected and reelected and getting the votes out and so on. So we need, I just keep on thinking we need to like shatter that, or not shatter, like shatter is like a negative word, but adjust our reelection process just so that it can't be gamed as easily if you follow. And I'm not saying like, I'm not saying for revolution. I'm just saying like maybe like some sort of amendment to our Constitution where like not term limits, because I don't think term limits is an ideal solution, because you do have people who are smart and you want them to be your senator for more than 2 terms, and because they bring home the bacon, or they just do a great job, or they know where the bodies are buried, just you don't want to get rid of them. So,
Yeah.
and it's their constitutional right to express their will to run. So, so I don't think that's a solution per se, but I think a lot of it would help from quality third party. And I think Bush versus Gore in 2000 with Nader just really hurt that a lot. So, and I don't think we'll get one like it again. So, anyway, yeah, pizza.
Yeah. All right. Good to talk to you. Thanks for testing this thing.
No problem. So when should I see you in Austin?
Probably moving. When is the election? In a couple weeks, right?
So yeah, you go to November 8th. Is that right?
Yeah. So if all goes according to plan, we'll move November 9th, I guess. Probably.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. All right. Have a good one.
Yeah. See ya.